Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday School. My name is Chessie Breton. I'm the Director of Children and Family Ministries at Manchester United Methodist Church. We are so glad that you are here joining us to hear some wonderful stories that come from, the Bible. It is officially summer. We have started the month of June, and we get to go back to the beginning of the Bible. We will be hearing all about the Old Testament. So let's go back remember we talked about Easter, we've gone all the way through, and now we're going to start back to the Old Testament and go all the way until Advent. Do you remember what is special about Advent? Take a second. Think about that. I'm hoping that you said Advent is the time that we wait for Jesus' birth on Christmas. So we're just going to make a big circle again, but I promise you're going to hear some new stories and maybe some that you've heard before. As a reminder, you can watch these stories at the end of both the 9 and 11 o'clock worship services. Also, on the Children and Family Ministries Facebook page, you can find activities and coloring pages to go along with our stories each week. Parents and guardians, these stories are wonderful for everyone in your family. Don't forget that they have wondering questions and wonder along with your children. It's a time for you to just enjoy and ask questions because a lot of the time our wondering questions don't have answers. Thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the month of June. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back for Sunday School. I'm so excited that you're here, and I can't wait to tell you a very special story from the Old Testament. I bet you can guess, or maybe have seen something that looks like a really big boat before. Can you think of what this story might be? If you guessed Noah's Ark, you are right. That is the story I get to share with you today. If you'll make silence with me, all of the words to today's story are inside of me. Let's make silence together so that I can find all of these words to share with you. God had made the whole world. God thought that the world was very good. But when the people of God started acting in ways that made God very sad, and God began to wonder if maybe it was not a good world after all. And God thought perhaps the world should be washed clean so God could start over. But there was one family that was righteous. A man named Noah and his wife and children still lived as God intended them. God decided to keep Noah and his family safe. So God told Noah, build an ark, a large boat, because I'm going to bring a flood to this earth. And the flood will destroy everything that I have made. But I will make a promise, a covenant with you and your children. I will keep you safe. After the ark is built, take 2 of each kind of animal. Take a male and a female of each kind. Also take food to feed them and your family. And Noah did as God told him. When the ark was finished, Noah and his family went into the ark. Then came the animals. The huge, lumbering elephants, swinging their trunks. The bears from the mountains. The alligators came from the swamps. And the birds flew to the ark. The dogs came aboard the ark ready to play with the children. Then came the goats with their long beards. It's getting quite full in there. And the pigs, hoping that the ark had some mud for them. Still they came. The giraffe, ducking her long neck, and the llama with his shaggy coat. Oops. There we go. And God shut the door. Then the rain started. Just a drop, and then another, and soon the sky became very dark and it started pouring. And slowly the ark began to lift out of the water, covering the grass, and then the bushes, and then the trees, and finally the mountains. For 40 days and 40 nights, the ark floated with its precious cargo. And all that was left on the earth was gone. And then the rain stopped. And very gradually, the water went down until finally the ark scraped and landed on Mount Ararat. After waiting a while, Noah opened the window to the ark and let a dove loose. But the dove did not return to Noah, so he knew that there was no place for her to build a nest. So Noah waited another 7 days. Then he let the dove go again. This time, the dove returned, and in her mouth was an olive branch. So Noah knew the water had gone down on the earth. After another 7 days, Noah let the dove go again. This time, she did not return. Then Noah knew it was time to move the animals from the ark back to the world that was washed clean. Out they came. Oop, I need that. The llamas. The giraffes. Quite tall. Next came the pigs, who were still hoping that maybe there was a little mud left from the rain. Then came the goats, and the dogs, and the birds who flew happily. The alligators came out and they returned to the swamp. And the bears went back to the mountain. And can't forget the elephants moving slowly, swinging. Oop, they can't get out that way. And the elephants swinging their trunks came out too. Then Noah and his family came out of the ark. They stopped and remembered God's love for them and built an altar to God. And in God's heart, God said, I know that people will always do things that will make me sad, but I will never again destroy the world like this. Then God gave Noah a sign so this promise would be remembered. God took God's bow and flung it into the sky. And God said, whenever I see my rainbow, I will remember my promise to you, and I will not destroy the world by a flood. Friends, I wonder how the animals knew to come to the ark. I wonder if all of the animals were friendly on the ark. It's a lot of different animals, pretty tight spaces. I wonder if God cried when the beautiful world was being destroyed. And I wonder what Noah and his family said when they saw that first rainbow. I also have some questions for our older friends. What would be the hardest part about being Noah? When Noah and his family were on the ark, they had a long wait. What is the hardest thing for you to wait for? after the flood, God said that the rainbow would be a reminder to God not to ever destroy by flood again. Why do you think God needed a reminder? Notice that God chose to save animals and humans. What does that say to us about how we are to live in this world? Friends, watch carefully as I put our story away today. The giraffes, the elephants, the llamas, the dogs 2 by 2, the birds, the bears, the alligators, the goats, the pigs. I hope they found their mud. And Noah's family. I hope that when we come back to church, you'll know how to use these supplies and you can share them with friends and family or your teachers. Thank you so much for joining me today for our story about Noah's Ark. What a special story to share about the promise that God made to Noah and to all people. If you want additional activities or coloring pages to go along with today's story, I encourage you to visit the Children and Family Ministries Facebook page. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye.